This is Cutscene Download featuring Daniel Emmons.
Welcome to Cutscene Download. I'm Daniel Emmons, and here's what's making news in the video gaming world this week. Our first story tonight, University of California, Irvine now has a scholarship for Super Smash Bros. To all the parents out there who encourage their kids to go outside and stop playing video games, good luck on paying those tuition fees now. Recently, Rockstar Lincoln converted a handful of game testers from contractors to full-time employees. When asked what kind of benefits they could expect, Rockstar said, they'll get one horse that they'll become super attached to, and also they can use whatever Kaiser Permanente they can find in Los Santos County. Twitter users were surprised to find that Fable 4 was trending this week, only to be disappointed to find out that the game was not announced. This is only slightly less disappointing than the ending of Fable 2. NBA 2K20 is bringing in the WNBA into the game. Also included in the game is a GM mode and a career mode. What? You think I was going to make some kind of sexist joke there? What do I look like? Some neckbeard on Twitter? I mean, I kind of do look like a neckbeard on Twitter, but I'm not going to make a stupid sexist joke. It's dumb. Who does that? Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft are pushing policies to inform players the odds of drops in loot crates. This policy also forces every news site to quote Han Solo, "Never tell me the odds." Yeah, I just wanted to do that too. Game Freak showed off more Pokemon this week, one of them being Obstagoon, which was inspired by Kiss bassist Gene Simmons. You can tell they're similar because they both have black and white faces, they both have long tongues, and they both have that swagger that says, "Yeah, I've slept with 4,000 groupies." In other Pokemon news, Game Freak announced that Pokemon will have jobs in the new game. When asked why, Game Freak said, after experiencing a corporate 9-to-5 job, Pokemon battles won't seem so bad. Sega dropped a new trailer for the Genesis Mini this week, which is great. I get to finally relive my childhood of begging my mom for a Super Nintendo, only to get a Sega Genesis with columns. I couldn't even get Sonic, Mom. Couldn't even get Sonic. And now, a little something about video game violence in the news segment, Character Select. Violent video games are in the news again, and our president is starting to talk about legislation to curtail the violence in video games. Here today with us is Alan Kimball of DADA, Dads Against Destructive Action in Video Games. Alan, welcome to the show.
Daniel, as always, thanks for having me, but I just wish I didn't have to be here.
So, Alan, why don't you give us a brief overview of what DADA's mission statement is?
Daniel, our mission is simple. We want to curtail violent images and the portrayal of violence in the video games that we are putting into the hands of the children in America. For too long, we've let companies like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo tell our children that it's okay to solve problems with violence. It has to stop, and it has to stop today.
What does DADA propose the Congress do?
We want to make it clear to our legislators that this isn't just about one family, one child, or one community. This is about our country. How long is it going to be until it's one of your children who goes to school and thinks it's okay to bring their best friend up onto a roof and hit them over the head with a sledgehammer until they get launched into the distance, never to be seen again?
Are kids actually doing that?
Daniel, have you heard of a game called Super Slam Brothers?
Super Smash Brothers, yeah.
This is a game where children are put in control of their lovable cartoon heroes, Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Pikachu, and told, sure, go ahead. Launch them off into the sunset, throw them off of a platform, throw bombs at each other, eat an invincibility star. You can be a god. Is that the message that you want to send to your children?
No, I don't think it's sending that to them.
Daniel, I'd like to tell the audience what a Falcon Punch is. A Falcon Punch is when you walk up to an enemy, a friend, a colleague, maybe someone who rubbed you the wrong way at work, and you reach back and as loud as you can, yell until a bird made of fire flies out of your fist and launches them across the room until they are never seen again. That's what you can do in Super Slam Brothers. But it shouldn't be what we do in America.
I don't think anybody can actually physically do that.
Just because they haven't doesn't mean that they won't.
You seem focused on Super Smash Brothers. Is there a reason why?
Because it's the most blatantly violent of all the video games. Why should our children be forced to ask themselves when they're 8 or 9 years old whether or not it's okay for Link to cut through Jigglypuff and launch him down into the ground with a sword? I don't want my child to go through life thinking that he can solve his problems by just picking up Ness and throwing him as far and as hard as he can. That's not okay.
Okay. Is there maybe any video games you would suggest that children do play? Is there any video game you would suggest parents pick out for their kids?
Absolutely. Frogger. This is a game where children have one simple task. Get a hard-working American frog from one side of traffic across another. Now, if that doesn't scream America, I don't know what does, Daniel.
Very well. Well, thank you, Alan, for coming on Cutscene Download. Appreciate all your information.
Thanks for having me, Daniel.
And that's been this week's Cutscene Download. You can find us on Twitter at Cutscene Show, or you can find us on Facebook at Cutscene Show. If you like what you saw, please give us a share and hit that subscribe button. Anyways, see you next Tuesday. And that's been Cutzone.